Okay, so let's get started. Welcome to the Sales and Marketing Alignment webinar. Sorry, it's the Marketing and Sales Alignment webinar. So we want to understand who's in charge of alignment, who's aligning with who. Hopefully we'll learn a little bit about that today. But ultimately, at the end of this webinar, I want everybody to walk away with motivation to work on the challenges of sales and marketing alignment within your organization. So I'm your presenter today. My name is Rob Luther. I am a partner at PIC and the VP of Business Development. I've been a marketer since 1999, and I have spent about 11 years at PIC in agency life. My general purpose at PIC is to find and cultivate partnerships through innovation, awareness, outreach that will help PIC and our partners grow. To help me achieve my general purpose, I have a lot of smaller missions. I'm one of the chief strategists, so helping clients grow is a key mission of mine, as well as reviewing sales opportunities, scaling out our ABM program, hosting webinars like this one. I wear a lot of different hats. So to get started, I'm going to do a tiny bit of self-promotion and talk about PIC partnerships. When PIC partners with a new client, it means we'll be walking with you. We want to understand your business as well as you do. We want to take our years of cumulative marketing experience and put them to work for you as an extension of your growth team. We want to engage and discuss the best strategic approach as your partner and the tactics that we could use to put those strategies into practice. And finally, flexible pricing. We want to grow at a pace that you're comfortable with. We are a full-service marketing agency from strategy to project management, content creation, development. We can pretty much handle everything you need from a marketing and development perspective, with one caveat. With website development, we only work with WordPress, Shopify, and the HubSpot content management system. We're experts in those platforms, and we want to grow our expertise in those platforms, so we focus 100% of our efforts there. So there's no sale without the story, no knockout without the setup. And what better way to create a strong setup than to align sales and marketing on a common message and common goals? And also, I'm a huge Office fan, so I have a few Office slides in here that are going to help me present. Marketing and sales tends to have their own objectives, and they don't always align. They can easily cause the two departments to not even try working together in a cohesive way, especially if there's history there. They tend to start ignoring each other, which is something we don't want to have happen. The two tend to blame each other when performance suffers. Sales will say marketing isn't giving us enough good leads, and marketing will say sales doesn't follow up on the leads we give them. The marketing team's core motivation is they don't want generated leads to be wasted, or they don't want the good ones to slip through the cracks. And the sales team's motivation, we have to hit our numbers. We can't spend time on leads of low value or of a low chance to win. Now, alignment between marketing and sales does not magically happen. It takes a conscious effort and a leader to make it happen. A healthy sales team has a leader. A healthy marketing team has a leader. Why shouldn't the alignment between the two have leadership? So what does sales and marketing alignment look like, and how do you do it? So it starts with both teams understanding your ideal customer and what they're trying to accomplish. Both teams, sales and marketing, should understand this from the perspective of your customer. So we call this the hero mission strategy. If you think about your favorite movie for a second, and you think about the main characters in that movie, you get emotionally invested in their successes and failures. We want you to have that same emotional investment in the success and failures of your customers, of your hero. The mission is what they're trying to accomplish. So it's your job to help them be successful, and you should be providing them resources to help them succeed on their mission. Now, we have another webinar we do that's focused on the hero mission that gives you more detail about that. If you haven't signed up for our event notifications, I'd recommend you do so, because we're doing other events as well. End of that shameless plug. So we want sales and marketing to align efforts on heroes and missions. Both teams should know from the hero's perspective, not your company's perspective, what they're trying to accomplish. And the teams should align on KPIs that matter. So how do you determine what KPIs matter? You really want to be efficient in your KPIs. You don't want so many that you're getting lost in data and vanity metrics. The KPIs you're using should be useful in decision-making and in tracking your primary goal, most likely revenue generation. So let's dig into a few that I like. Companies spend a lot of money generating content for their website, and they tend to use the amount of traffic to their entire website to measure success of their content strategy. Content engagement is not the number of visitors to your website. Try looking at users who have a visit duration greater than 10 seconds and see what the top pages are that they're visiting. Those pages, what is the value of those pages to your hero's mission? Would your sales team want to use those content pieces to help them in the sales process? Is your customers getting value out of those pages? If the answer is little value and the sales team doesn't want to touch that content, then that content needs to be retooled and reworked. Share your content with your sales team. See if it aligns with the conversations that they're having with prospective customers. And for the sales team, marketing isn't generating content just for the heck of it. Read the content they write and give them feedback. Actually share that content with your prospects and customers, get their feedback so that you can share that with the marketing team. We want to understand what content is working and where the weak areas are. And also, as people engage with your content, we can put them on remarketing lists so that we're getting branding messages in front of them when they're not in front of you. Your life cycle stages should represent your prospect's life cycle in your CRM. It might look something like this: lead, marketing qualified lead, sales qualified lead, opportunity, close won, close lost. This is basically the HubSpot life cycle stage. But one of the most important things about the life cycle stage is aligning on the definition. Make sure marketing and sales both understand what an MQL is versus what an SQL is. The marketing and sales teams should work together to determine what actions are taken at each life cycle stage, who's taking the action, and when that action should be taken. So for Pick, our MQLs are sales ready leads. Our MQLs transition into SQLs after the initial discovery call. Once Jack, our BDR, determines fit and schedules a discovery call, they're an MQL. They move on to the SQL after the discovery call is over and they're officially qualified. The length of the sales cycle impacts pretty much everybody in your organization. So knowing your overall sales cycle length is a great starting point. And then sales and marketing can start working together to find ways to minimize bottlenecks in the process and help shorten it. Analyze each stage of the pipeline, not just the beginning to the end, but each stage and transition through of that life cycle stage. There's questions your prospects are asking during the sales process. There's a set of questions that 80% of your prospects ask, and probably the 20% should be asking those questions. The marketing team can develop resources around the questions and make them available on the website. They can also work with sales to create email templates or sequences that help answer these questions. This is going to arm your prospects with information on the downtime between sales calls. It also positions you as an expert in the field, and it really helps showcase that expertise and authority. And then it'll allow the sales team to focus on the unique needs and challenges of the prospect during those face-to-face sales calls. Customer retention. It measures the business's effectiveness in retaining customers over the long term. Understanding and improving overall customer retention is a great KPI for your teams to work on together to improve. According to Invesp, it can be 5 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than to retain an existing one. And a study by Bain & Company found that increasing customer retention rates by just 5% can lead to a 25 to 95% increase in profits. So if you view the customer relationship as a flywheel rather than a funnel, this means that marketing, sales, and customer service alignment and teamwork continue beyond that initial purchase. So examples of alignment and teamwork opportunities: marketing, arm the customers with information that they need to be successful. Sales, a consultative process to help them pick the best products and services to fit the needs of their mission. And then service, listening to the customer to ensure success and satisfaction. Learn from each other. Sales, read and review marketing material being developed. You need to know if it adds value to your customers and prospects. If it doesn't, work with marketing to improve it. Marketing, try listening to some sales calls, learn and see what the sales team is encountering on the front lines. One of the most important aspects of alignment is working together. In order to work together toward a common goal, you should actually be communicating. Have a specific sales and marketing meeting each week or every other week. Marketing can help sales better use the CRM, get more out of it, get insights on adding value to nurture workflows from the sales team, get ideas on how effective the marketing resources are being used by the sales team and received by the customers. Sales, you guys can share job stories with marketing, tell marketing the pushback that you're getting from your prospects, any needs that you have from the marketing team. These meetings are a great time to identify issues and do some blameless problem solving. And I stress blameless problem solving. If you're afraid that you're going to hurt somebody's feelings, just start out, hey, this is a blameless problem solve, but we need to figure out X, Y, Z. And this may make you sweat under the collar a little bit, but what about creating a service level agreement between sales and marketing? You can set goals each team needs to accomplish, define the initiatives and time frame to accomplish them, and hold yourselves accountable to that. Remember, to successfully align, we need to work together toward a common goal. We want to have that North Star goal. We don't want sales and marketing to have different objectives. Otherwise, we're definitely not aligned. Now, all of these KPIs will most likely align to help us grow our number one KPI, which is probably revenue. It's a pretty typical measure of success. Sales and marketing should both own the revenue KPI. Okay, now that we know a little bit about what sales and marketing alignment looks like, let's talk about the value of alignment. HubSpot did a study that showed a 4.13% conversion rate for leads across all industries. Now, a Leads 360 study found that the average response time to a new lead was 47 hours and 59 minutes. So in a world where the average lead time response is 47 hours, lead follow-up can have a huge impact on success. Now, a Velocify survey stated that lead conversions are 391% higher when you call within 1 minute of an online inquiry. So that act alone can take that 4.13% lead average and bump it up to over 20%. Now, as a salesperson, if you've ever done sales, you can feel this when you call someone right away and they're surprised to hear from you so fast. It makes a lasting impression. It came back in storytelling for us. My partner and I went to an event where one of the participants had signed up the previous night, like last minute, and he stood up and told the entire room how impressed he was that the organizer had responded to him within seconds after submitting the registration. And if you think about it from the perspective of the prospect, they want information. They're not filling out the form for the fun of it. They have a need that they think could be satisfied by filling out that form. And what better time to talk to your prospect than when you are top of mind? The Aberdeen Group published a report called The Alignment of Sales and Marketing that saw 27% faster growth, 36% higher retention rate with well-aligned sales and marketing teams. So those are awesome numbers, but what aspects of alignment led to those increases? Increased efficiency in lead generation, lead qualification and follow-up, improved lead quality. When you understand the mission of your heroes and where they're at in the customer journey, you have a better understanding of the quality of that lead and how to react to it. Enhanced customer experience. Alignment of sales and marketing means you can develop a more personalized and valuable experience for your customer, from marketing to sales and even service. Leads nurtured by companies with strong marketing sales alignment spent 47% more than leads left to make purchases on their own. This is the value of a personalized approach that educates your prospective customer and establishes trust in the buying process. So marketing today is more about helping, less about hyping. So sales and marketing don't overpromise and underdeliver. And I promise these are the last statistics. One study by the Corporate Executive Board found that customers who perceive their vendors' marketing messages as overhyped are 22% less likely to recommend the vendor to others and are 50% less likely to repurchase from that vendor in the future. So sales and marketing need to keep each other in check and make sure you're delivering what you're telling the world you are going to deliver. Now, each one of these is worth their own webinar, so I'm just going to hit highlights here and just touch on these real quickly. We talked about the challenges between sales and marketing, what sales and marketing alignment is, what KPIs the team should align to. So let's talk about the process of getting aligned. You should have a framework. You need to have the focus of a framework. Strong inbound marketing and lead nurturing. Communication is key. Account-based marketing. ABM has marketing and sales alignment baked into the process. You remember this slide? So our hero mission strategy is an ideal framework for getting sales and marketing to work together. One of my favorite quotes from a customer, the first time I asked them who their ideal customer was, they said, everyone with ears. They're acoustic engineers. So while everyone who has functional ears might be affected by acoustics, they're definitely not their ideal customer. So if we're going to spend time and resources getting leads for sales, let's make sure we consider the heroes that we love working with and the missions that we're best suited and aligned to help them solve. If we look at the mission from the hero's perspective, there may be areas on that journey where our specific products and services don't necessarily align, but because of our expertise and experience, we have valuable information that we can share to help them. So we want to see the entire mission the hero is trying to accomplish and understand what part of that mission does sales align to, and make sure that we have all the resources we need to have in place there. But then look at the other areas of the mission and figure out what content can we create to help our heroes be successful before they're even looking for a solutions partner. Inbound marketing covers a lot of ground. We built a roadmap around inbound marketing. So as marketers, we need to understand our market, how we talk to it, and where we fit in the competitive landscape. That means building and growing an effective website, doing competitive research, continually working to understand your customers, and positioning yourselves as thought leaders in the industries that you serve. And communicate. Again, meet regularly and have a strong standing agenda. Review your scorecards. Share successes and failures. Identify and discuss concerns with blameless problem solving. Have a quarterly meeting too. That way you can reassess big picture items, reassess your hero and your mission, and make sure that you have everything in place and that your strategy is strong. And then ABM. ABM is perfect for companies who know who their customers are, but need a strategy to get in front of them. Sales and marketing work together in this approach. This is our basic ABM framework that we're using internally. We have a large account list. We'll agree on 10 accounts that we want to focus on. Jack, our BDR prospects within those accounts. We have 3 heroes defined that we know that we can help. We do marketing outreach to them, and then Jack does sales outreach to them. And then ultimately we're trying to get into the discovery phase and build a partnership with those accounts. We must move from numbers keeping score to numbers that drive better actions. And this is really focusing in on the whole KPI thing. You want your KPIs to be valuable, not just vanity metrics. So to dramatically oversimplify sessions, if sessions is my KPI, my knee-jerk reaction might be to improve sessions, I need to create more content. Where if my KPI is engagement, now I need to create more valuable content. So just look at your KPIs and try and figure out how they're impacting your company. And as a fun exercise, just make a list of the KPIs you're responsible for. Then in the next column, write down why that KPI matters. And then in the next column, write down what decision it influences. If you can't find a reason why that KPI matters or what decision it's going to influence, maybe it's a vanity metric, or maybe there's a better metric for it. Maybe there's a better metric that you can define that matters and how it's going to influence decisions. So that is the extent of the sales and marketing alignment webinar. Anybody have any questions? I have one from Kim that we can talk about right now. Kim said that her sales team likes to reach out to every lead we get, whether they're good quality or not. And I have seen this before, Kim, and it would be interesting to know. And I honestly, I can't remember if you're on HubSpot, but it would be interesting to calculate that time to follow up value. So if you're finding that your sales team is taking hours or a day, more than a day to follow up, then you might want to have that conversation on, okay, I need to get you leads that you will follow up, on within an hour. And maybe depending on your CRM, you can stagger that. So if there's a hand raise element in the form, like if your contact form says, yes, I want to talk to sales, then that goes directly to them right away and it's flagged, like call them ASAP. And if it's any other lead, then it's like follow up within 24 hours or something like that. So maybe you still send them every lead, but you send them prioritized in a different way. That would be my thoughts there. Any other questions? Who do you feel should lead the charge for sales and marketing alignment? The sales and marketing manager or the CEO, president, owner? Oof, that's a really good question. So whoever's leading the charge for sales and marketing alignment, number one, they have to have the power and authority to do it. Like they have to have the power to do it. But more importantly, they have to have the passion to do it and the drive to do it. Because in order to be successful, it's something that you have to be able to push people in a way, because it is a culture change too. So I would say, I don't know that it could be the CEO, but I feel like it's going to either be the sales manager or the marketing manager. Maybe a co-op between the two where they both take ownership, although I would like to see one leader, I guess I would argue, because it's if one person's in charge, they're in charge. So they can't share blame, I guess. But yeah, I would say just whoever has the passion for it and whoever has the power to enforce it is who I would say should be the leader. What is the best practice for the communication of alignment? Designated points of contact within the sales and marketing team. Oh, that's a really good question too. So it would depend on the size. Like I would almost say, depending on how large your teams are, the more people involved, the better, especially at the decision-making level. Although with the sales team, the more involvement from the sales side, like I would say every sales rep should be involved in any marketing and sales meeting, not necessarily every marketing contact. The reason I would want the entire sales team to be involved is because they are on the front line. They're hearing real life stories. They're getting pushback daily from prospects. And they're talking to customers. So they have so much tribal knowledge and so much valuable knowledge that marketing needs. The entire sales team I would encourage to be there and share. Maybe they don't all talk at every single meeting, but like one of the things we do in our weekly huddle is we have a knowledge share where everybody takes a turn sharing something. So you could probably set something like that up where you have a sales rep, it's their turn to share an experience or a customer job story, success or failure, something along those lines.
Rob, if you don't mind me jumping in here, sorry.
No.
Ultimately, the alignment, I think, starts with the SLA between marketing and sales. If that SLA is documented and shared with everyone, and then the important KPIs visible to everyone through a HubSpot dashboard or some other mechanism so that they know that the leaders of sales and marketing are really sticking to the terms of those SLAs, I think that's it's kind of where it starts, and showing that ongoing commitment, and everybody knows where they stand.
Yeah, and we're actually going to be sending out a template for an SLA agreement along with a sample meeting agenda. Tips on getting SMEs engaged on generating original content. Blogs seem too big of an ask. Any tips for good framework to help the content not run dry and miss the mark? So I feel like the blog content is too big of an ask because the leadership team doesn't see the value in it. And as far as not running dry and missing the mark, this is, I'm going to plug our hero mission strategy again. When you're structuring your content around the buyer's journey that is not centric, that is not from your perspective, right? If you shift perspective and you look at the entire mission that hero is trying to complete, there is a reservoir of content you can create that's going to add a huge amount of value to your hero. Typically, as a company, you have experience across a vast area of iterations for your solution, right? Your hero, they're in their walls, and they see like maybe one use case for this solution, whereas you have people that are doing all kind of different things with your solution. So you have a lot of expertise that you can offer your individual heroes. And if you're creating blogs and articles and any sort of content, any sort of story assets that are adding value to your customer, it's going to end up showing, and it's not going to be as difficult to get the buy-in from leadership. You kind of have to sell the value to leadership. I feel like with leadership, if you're just saying, hey, we're going to create content, there's no feeling of strategy behind it, I guess. But when you say, hey, look, this is what our hero is trying to accomplish. This is the mission that they're on, and this is how we align to it. And we want to create content around these friction points that the sales team says that our hero runs into on a daily basis. It's going to be a lot easier to get that buy-in from leadership. And you'll have the sales team on board too, because the sales team is going to want this content as well. If I can't remember the exact phrase, but like if it's marketing trying to spend money, then it's but if it's a sales initiative, then all of a sudden it's like, yes, sink money into that. So if you can get the sales to buy into your content strategy, it'll be easier. It'll be an easier ask.
I've also overcome this issue by, once you get executive buy-in, publishing a content calendar and giving the SMEs plenty of time to put together the content, give them the topic, and then just ask them to provide an outline and let the marketing content writers build it out from there. But I found in the past SMEs to be really, really happy to help out and love seeing their name at the bottom of the blog post.
Any other questions? So our webinar next month is going to be on account-based marketing. If anybody's interested in that, stay tuned. All right. Then I guess that is it. Stay tuned for an email follow-up. We'll send you a link to the video. We're also going to send you the SLA download that has the meeting agenda in it. And I think that's pretty much what we're sending out for this one. So that's great. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.